Ladies and gentlemen, you know, when I saw this article, I said, this is something that's been true in America for centuries. You know, we work very hard every day, and these people calling us lazy got a lot of nerve. Here we catching them in cheating scandals and all kinds of cheating on jobs and cheating and everything. Nah, honey, if you gotta cheat, you're lazy. Lazy people cheat. People that do honest work, they get out here and work hard every day. There's a huge difference. Cheat, lazy. And then they try to run these psychological games and try to play like you're not applying yourself. You're applying yourself more than the person that's sitting there and telling you you're not. So no one is more educated in America than Black women. And at least when we go through college, we are really studying hard and applying ourselves and earning our degrees. This is why you don't see Black people caught up in no college cheating scandal. You don't see us caught up in no mess like that. You don't see anybody cheating on ACTs and SATs in the Black community. We are really taking those exams and really, truly passing. And we don't have $500,000 and all these ridiculous amounts of money that these people did not do anything to earn. We got so much of a big bank account claiming you earned it and you really didn't. And you get to throw that kind of money around on dumb kids. We in the Black community know if our kids aren't smart enough for college, they can find something else to do. We don't try to fake the funk and use money to push them through anyway. But it taught us one thing. These folks will go above and beyond and will cheat to a level that we in the Black community will never cheat at those levels. Never. So, lower pay, more harassment, how work in America has failed women of color. And they're talking about Black women. Black women today have degrees up the wazoo. Black women of today are probably the most educated that Black women has ever been in this country's history. And it's not just the Black women. I found an article and did a video on Black men of today have more college degrees than white men. See, there's a lot of lying going on in this society. A lot of lying. If you see all this cheating going on, you can best believe there's tons of lying right along with it. If you're cheating, you're automatically lying anyway. So let's get into this article. So this came out in Business Insider. Work is failing Black and brown women. A new report from leanin.org and McKinsey found that women of color make up an abysmal 4% of C-suite executives. No, because you got to understand these people have a plantation mentality. This is why to this very day, ladies and gentlemen, when you see these big executive and directors and vice president and CEOs, these folks still got that mentality that they are supposed to be at the top and everybody else is at the bottom. They run everything like a plantation. Everything they run in this country looks like a plantation. Look at any corporation on any given day and look at who is in the top positions of those corporations. It's all white people. And then look at the people down at the lower levels and you'll start seeing, Black people, Latinos, and you'll start seeing everybody else, Asians. But we have never seen America look any other way. They run the place like a big old plantation. They have to be at the top, even if they're not the best people to be at the top. I've been in companies and watched some of them, they didn't even belong in those positions. They didn't belong in those positions, y'all. They didn't even do a good enough job to be in those positions, but they got those positions. And then they would be in these high positions and then come to you asking some of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life and things they should have known. And I'm not the only one that noticed this kind of stuff. While white women get 18% of exec roles and white men get 68%, that's a plantation. Them at the top, everybody at the bottom. Everything's a plantation. Not only are black and Hispanic women paid less than white women on average, study finds that they are more likely to work lower paying jobs. Asian American women, meanwhile, are more likely to get pass up for senior level roles, and some ethnic groups like Bangladeshi and Thai women get paid much less than white men. Even worse, women of color overall report higher rates of workplace sexual harassment and bullying. That is very true. That is very true. And they don't want a lot of us in these positions, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why is because if there's just a few sprinkled in black people and Latinos, it's easy for them to get away with harassing you and denying it. And they got the laws written in a way it's difficult, but it is not unprovable because we are in the day and age of a smartphone where you can video their asses in the act on the job, and you can video little sneaky things like nooses on a job and stuff. You can get out your camera and take pictures or turn on your video cam and make sure you get footage of the harassment. That is the good part. It's easier to prove today than it was years ago because we got smartphones. And this is why you're seeing um, many of these people that go on these public rants. You notice many of them get fired. Black and Hispanic women are paid less than white people for the same job. Yes, we know they do that. They give them bigger salaries even when they don't deserve it. Black and Hispanic women are most affected by the gender wage gap, especially when compared to white men. Black women take 67% of what white men earn, and Hispanic women get 58%. Black women need to work an extra 233 days to earn what white men earn. Hispanic women, particularly Latinas, need to work 324 days to be equivalent to a white man's salary. That is ridiculous. And these folks are not working better than us, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let them try to run that con job on you. And many of us, we get up and we look at these people working. They ain't no smarter than a bag of rocks, many of them, and they're sitting in these positions. We know, come on. I listen to the way they talk and the way they carry themselves. It ain't no way they're smarter. It's no way on the face of this earth they're smarter. No way. I remember I had a job out of college. My first job, I was a corporate trainer. When I got there on my first day, I was sitting there and I was like, okay. So I was asking the woman that hired me, um, how, about my training. And she says, I can't train you. This was a white woman. She said, I can't train you. And she said, we never had this position open before. She said, I'm afraid you're going to have to figure out how to put the job together yourself. Do you know I came in there and I put that whole position together, plus the other positions that followed, because they had no idea. I had to train myself and teach myself. She didn't have a clue, but she was a big senior manager. But she literally told me she never had this job, never had the position, and she couldn't train me. I would have to figure it out myself. Not only did I figure out how to do my job, I put that whole department together. So don't tell me they are the best and smartest in all of these jobs. They're not. They're not. And we all know this firsthand, especially if you're working in many of these places. And while Asian women are paid more than white women, yeah, they do, but not all Asian women are paid more than white women. And Asian women, they're another one. They really shouldn't be paid more. Asians are another group that cheat just as much or even more than white people when it comes down to college. That's why when you look at the college admission scandal, who do you see? Whites and some Asians. And I'm not surprised because those are the biggest cheating groups in the nation. Nobody cheats more than whites and Asians. Nobody. I'm not surprised. And they really don't deserve that. Indian American women and Chinese women, who are part of the wealthiest ethnic groups in the U.S., out earn white men according to data from the U.S. Census Bureau. Yet, if you look at other ethnic groups within the Asian American community, there are far greater disparities. Burmese American women make just 50 cents for every dollar that white men earn, and Thai American women make 60 cents on the dollar. So it's not all Asians, not all Asians, it's just certain ones. Filipino American women, one of the largest Asian American demographics in the US, earn 83 cents for what white men earn. Bangladesh American women earn 69 cents. So there is a difference. You know, the Chinese, they are considered, I guess, like their elite group. And then all of these other Asians, not so much. Black and Hispanic women are more likely to work lower paying jobs. Workers of color, specifically Black workers, Hispanic workers, and Asian Americans, workers are likely to get paid poverty level wages than white workers, according to 2018 analysis by the liberal leaning think tank Economic Policy Institute. Black and Hispanic women are also overrepresented in low paying work. Black women, for instance, are more likely to work in food service, domestic work, and home health care. All some of the worst paying occupations in the country. Mm-mm-mm. They are additionally less likely to work in high paying tech fields. That's very true. I worked in IT. I was an IT manager. And the more higher up you go, the less black people you see. But see, they do that on purpose, ladies and gentlemen. They do that on purpose. They do it on purpose because they're trying to make sure their people always have the better paying jobs and you get the less paying job. So they'll just sprinkle you in there, but you ain't making nowhere near the people around you that are white. And it is just a classic 101 racism. I have seen Black women come on jobs with more knowledge than white women, but they get paid less. But they'll know how to do the job, not only know how to do the job, but do the job better. And I've seen the white women get up and go and question black women. How do you do this? And how should I do this? And I've experienced it. I know what I'm talking about. I've experienced them coming in my office asking me, how would I do this? How would I do that? But want the bigger paying salary. And many of you out there that are my subscribers, you know exactly what I mean because you've experienced this on jobs. You know the job better than them, but they get the bigger salary. So it's nothing but classic racism. Like I said, racism 101. Hispanic people, meanwhile, account for just 15% of all jobs, but make up 36% of all high school dropouts, a group that typically gets low paying work. As a result, largely Hispanic women make up 43% of all maids and house cleaners in the country, according to a 2013 report from The Atlantic. Black and Hispanic women are particularly vulnerable to unpredictable schedules. Yep, that is very true. And in fact, most of the time when I saw people doing overtime, they were black. Okay. And the white workers, as soon as 5 o'clock hit, they're running to their cars and getting the hell out of the parking lot. They're spinning away. Black and Hispanic women work hourly wages, have the most irregular schedules, according to a New York Times article citing data from Shift Project. Workers of color were 30% more likely than white workers to have had a shift canceled in the last month, even if both groups had the same work experience and education. There are consequences from precarious schedules, night shift workers, and police who have irregular hours are also 33% more likely to suffer from depression. The children of these employees have worse behavior and inconsistent child care, the Times reported. Well, you know what? I blame that on this country for making child care so unaffordable for many people, especially people with lower wages. Women of color make up an abysmal 4% of corporate C suites. Oh, yeah. See, the higher you go up, they don't want us there. They don't want us there. And see, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you will hear about these big corporation executives or the CEO stealing the company's money. That even happened when I was out there working, stealing the money and then disappearing. We had a guy do that. He was a manager and he was in charge of any money that we had for events like company picnic, company Christmas party, that kind of stuff. This man one day disappeared and never came back to the job and took every single dime out of the account and left, and they never caught him. They never caught him. He took every dime. Thousands and thousands of dollars. And I think they said for the Christmas party and everything, because we had a large it was 7,700 employees, and they spent, I believe, like well over $100,000 for the Christmas party. He took all that money and disappeared. He took all $100,000 and vanished. See, I've seen them do that, but they don't want us in those positions. They want full access to those kind of things, money and things that nobody else have access to. That's why they want these positions. They get the company credit card and all that stuff, and they be stealing left and right. And there was another female employee that was using the credit card, company credit card, for all kinds of personal items, and she did the same thing. Um, she moved and disappeared and bought all kinds of extravagant stuff for her home, and all kinds of crazy mess she was buying with the company credit card. And we had a bookkeeper that stole all kinds of money. And it wasn't until after she left they realized all this money was missing. And she was another one that just up and disappeared. So there's a reason why they don't want us in certain positions, because they only want white people to have access to certain things like company money and company credit cards, and they don't want you to have that, or the company car and stuff. Oh, well, they, when they work for us, they get the company car, and all that stuff. They don't want us to have that kind of access. They want you to have the little remedial job somewhere in the corner, and you don't really mean that much to the company. Just 1 in 25 C-suite executive level manager is a woman of color. A new report from McKinsey and Leanin.org on the state of women in the workplace 2019 found white women make up 18% of C executives, while white men make up the vast majority at 68%. Women of color aren't just greatly outnumbered at the top. They make up 18% of entry level jobs, 12% points less than white women. They face greater challenges to get that next promotion. McKinsey found that for every 100 entry level men who are promoted to manager, just 68 Latinas and 58 Black women are promoted. Women of color, particularly in low wage sectors, are more vulnerable to sexual harassment and bullying at work. Yes, yes. Women of color overall are more likely to report sexual harassment at work, according to a 2019 study published in the journal Gender Work Organization. Women of color, low wage sectors are particularly vulnerable. Black women and Latinas working in fast food, for instance, are more likely to report negative sexual attention than white women. Women of color also face higher sexual harassment like bullying. Analysis of survey responses from 800 employees found ethnic minority women suffer higher rates of harassment at work than compared to white people and men of color. But you know what? Men of color actually do go through a lot of BS at work, especially sexual nature, more than you can imagine. Researchers hypothesize this phenomena occur because women of color face a double jeopardy of being both women, and ethnic minority groups are susceptible to harassment. Yes, very true. Black women are more harshly evaluated than white workers and black men, and feel they are more likely to get passed up for promotion and better opportunities. Absolutely. Harvard University study found that black women are seen as less effective leaders than white women, which is a lie. Which is a lie. I've had some, y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you. I've had some terrible white managers. Terrible. Terrible. Okay? So this is right along with they are the best and we got low IQs, which is so false it ain't even funny. I've had some bad white female and male managers. And many of you could probably tell me about your lousy managers. Just because you're white, you are not the best manager. I'm sorry. I've experienced it. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. And white, let me go back. A Harvard University study found that black women are seen as less effective leaders than white women, and white and black men. Black women also get some of the least support from their managers. Yep, that's very true. And feel they are often unfairly passed up for better opportunities. Lean In and McKinsey found black women get paid less after graduating, and they have a harder time paying off student loan debt. Very true. To attend four-year colleges, 86.6% of black students borrow federal loans compared to 59.9% of white students. Black students have a harder time paying off. Two, one in two black students default on their student loans between 2003 and 2015, compared with just 21.5% of white students and 36.1% of Latino students. White women also take longer time pay off than black women also take a longer time to pay off their loans, research find, and due to making less money out of college. Right. And what they also do that they're not telling you in this story is they will shut black people out of the professions that they went to college for. And white people that go to college for certain professions, they'll go right into the jobs they went to school for. And black people have to struggle to get into those professions because they try to use, oh, well, you don't have experience. Well, neither did those white students that you hired. They didn't have none either. But they try to pull that trick too. And the reason why they do that, they try to slow you down and make sure the white person that got out of college get more experience before you even get it. You just walk around and ask a lot of these graduates out of college that are black, or they working in their profession, an awful lot of them are going to tell you no. That is done on purpose, y'all. They're doing that mess on purpose. And you'll see that happening to black people more than anyone else. Now, the only time you can go straight into a profession, a lot of times people that are there, like nursing or like a physical therapist, you're going specifically into the medical field, those people tend to get out and go straight into the field that they went to college for. But a lot of the other professions, I've seen people with PhDs working in Walmart, and y'all know what I mean. This is that's done to us on purpose. Okay, black college graduates ages 21 to 24 earn $3.34 less per hour than their white peers, reported Julian Berman for MarketWatch, citing an analysis left by a left-leaning economic policy institute. Founders of color get less funding than white CEOs. Starting your own business is harder if you are a woman of color. Citing various sources, entrepreneur Nina Zipkin reported that black women founders have got just 0.0006% of VC money since 2009. Roughly 1% of all Latino or Latina businesses between 2007 and 2012 use VC funding, and just 15% of investment professionals are Asian Americans. For this reason, Arlen Hamilton, one of VC's only queer black women, started Backstage Capital, a firm that invests only in minority-owned ventures. Asian American women are passed up for senior level roles more often than other ethnic groups. Asian Americans are least likely racial group to get promoted into tech management positions despite being the most likely group hired into entry level positions. For women, it's even worse. Out of all the Asian American women working in tech, only 1 in 285 is an executive. A study from professional group Ascend found. And that's true. I mean, look at YouTube. It's predominantly white males, and they don't hardly have, and it's Asians and white males, and they don't hardly have black people there. And when you start looking at, um, when you start looking at how we are treated on YouTube, you will understand. More than likely, it's a white male looking at your videos and judging, and they have no connection to the black community or the black experience. This is why when we put something out, it's hate speech. It's not hate speech. We are reading an article about something that actually happened, and we're giving our commentary. And this is the reason why I keep telling y'all, when you go to court, they can't beat you on that hate speech stuff. They can't. They can't. I don't care what they got in their policy, they can't beat you on it. But please tell me what you think. I've seen many things on these jobs that were unfair. I have seen black people get punished for things they didn't do because some white person went into an office and told a lie on the black person. And see, they got the system set up where anything they say is believed and anything you say ain't believed. That's all part of this white supremacist system and the way they have it set up. They got it set up to shut you out of big positions and shut you out of those big salaries. And like I said, just look around your nearest corporation. You'll see a sea of white people and you'll see everybody else sprinkled in. And the higher you go up the ladder in those companies, the more it looks like a slave plantation. America runs all of their corporations and jobs with the plantation mentality. Everybody in the top spot, white people in all the top spots. Everybody in the lower positions, black, Latino, and it's all by design. You can't expect this or anything different from a country that has run for centuries on white supremacy. So it's going to be reflected in all industries across America, and it is. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.